Hi, everyone. I am so glad you're here. And I have a special guest today. I'll introduce him in a minute. But first, I want to introduce and make sure everybody knows who I am. I'm Johnnie Urban, and I have a business called Stop the Madness Business Solutions. And this is where business owners hire me to increase their revenue without spending any more money on marketing and advertising. So you can always find me at stopthemadnessbusinessconsulting.com. So anyway, I want to introduce today my special guest, Lloyd. Now, Lloyd and I have known each other for quite a while. You know, he hired me in the past, and then I've picked his brain in a few things. He's the best tax accountant I have ever talked to. He is funny, humorous, loving family man, and all I can say is good things about this man. He just knows what the heck he's talking about when it comes to taxes and accounting. But he's not going to talk about that today. We're going to go on a little different tangent, but he will have a gift at the end of this for all of you listeners that want to tap into this wisdom of this beautiful man. So anyway, hello, Lloyd. I don't know why I put an F in front of your name. It's just like there's some crazy mouth thing that my mouth does. But yes, Lloyd Boucher, welcome.
How are you doing? Glad to be here, Johnnie. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. This has been a long time coming, so yes. I'm glad I got you right here.
Wonderful.
So anyway, Lloyd, I want to ask you some questions today because I am writing an article for an international magazine, the Six Figure Coach magazine, and they wanted me to write an article about how COVID has impacted businesses. And I know it's had a little impact on you. And I want to hear your story. So I'm going to be asking some questions specifically so I can gather information for my article, but also so our listening audience can also live through your experiences and also hear, what you've been going through. But the first thing I want to ask you, Lloyd, because you have a wonderful, beautiful experience about why you started your business. What made you be a tax accountant?
Okay. So before I tell my wonderful life story. So my name's Lloyd Boucher. I am the tax forensics expert. I protect taxpayers from the government. So going back to my story. So when I was around second year of high school, I went to my mom and dad and said, my school is going to have a school trip, right? So we're going to go to this botanical garden. There's some lake activities, paddle boats. There's some zoo, and there's some butterfly things in there. And my mom said, we cannot send you. And I asked, why, Mom? We don't have money. But then in my mind was thinking, my brother, older brother, 2 years older than I, he's an Eagle Scout in the Boy Scout. Anywhere in the country he wanted to go, they had money for him. I did not feel bad about it. But then the other part of my brain says, you got to start making your own money, right? So that the next year when there's another school trip, you just go, ask for permission, don't ask money again. So I figured, how am I going to do this? One day, I invited a friend of mine and I said, hey, why don't we do this after school? Let's shine shoes. Let's shine shoes for a living so we can have money. My friend said yes. So we started at a junior bowling alley, those little balls like this, you can just hold by the palm of your hand. So we started shining shoes after school, right? So we made a few, this was in the Philippines, in Naga City, where I was born from, across a city jail. So we were just shining shoes, and we have this peso and another peso. And we collected enough money that I had money to buy my mom a gift. Very first gift out of my own money. So I asked my brother Paul to come with me and say, let's buy mom a gift. So we bought her one of those Chinese figurines, right? So I was sitting down, old white lady, red lips, and there's chopsticks on the hair. So we brought it to my mom and said, this is our gift to you, right? So my brother, who they have money every time, I presented as this is our gift. So all was happy. So I went back, and then after school hours, we continued shining shoes. I was making money. I was so happy. And then one day, as I was shining shoes, there was two brown shoes approaching, clickety-clack, 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 and those steps were familiar. When I looked up, it was my father. In my culture in the Philippines, the fathers are responsible for providing for their family and their kids. So now I understand how shamed they must have felt. felt, right? So in my culture, shame-based culture, so I felt shame. So he called me and we had a sidebar, and he asked me two questions. He said, am I not feeding you? I said, yes, Dad, you are. Don't I put a roof over your head? I said, yes, Dad, you are. So stop this nonsense, stop this, and go home. My first money-making venture stopped right away. There was an external force that prevented me not only from keeping more money, but making more money as well. Now I'm in business as a tax forensics because I want to protect you from the government from stopping you from keeping more money. So I solve people's tax problems and I help you using the same tax law that you hate so much to save your money more for your pockets. That's what I do.
Yeah. And you're really good at it too.
Thank you.
You're really good at it too. Thank you, Lloyd. I love hearing that story every time you tell it. It's like, it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Thank you. So, awesome. So now we're going to get down to the nitty gritty to ask you a few questions about how COVID and the pandemic has affected. So, the first question is, how often did the authorities force your area to shut down?
It's very interesting. My office is in the city of Tustin. All over cities were closing down. The city of Tustin is a very conservative, God-fearing city. We were open. We were practicing social distancing guidelines and mask guidelines. We did not shut down.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It is right up the street from me. So I didn't even
Right.
know that.
Right.
Awesome. Awesome. And so if Tustin didn't shut down, but then you noticed that your surrounding area shut down, it's like, can you recall how long did each of these, shutdowns last? Because I know that they were in phases.
Yeah, there were phases, and it was unfortunate that there was a mandate from the state level going down to the city level, and depending on how the city is, the political makeup, whomever was the majority there, it affected how the business owners, especially the small business owners, and many have closed forever, right? So depending on the political makeup, political party affiliation, it affected a lot of cities. Santa Ana, for example, is one, right? And many other cities like Santa Ana. And the duration is however long, how many codes did we have now? Different color coded types of warnings, right? And then
Right,
one after another never seem to end, and the thing seems to getting worse, and wave after wave. And what did we see from wave after wave of shutdowns? Many people now don't have livelihood.
Yes.
Right, and that's the very sad part. So cities who are gung-ho about this COVID stuff without realizing, and I've attended a presentation last night by a chiropractor who showed us a video where two chiropractors, one taking the COVID, one did not. One took the COVID and said, if we had more information before than we have today, I shouldn't have received any COVID shots. Right, so it was, people made decisions based on information provided, but things were rushed. And unfortunately, small business owners are one of the hardest hits.
I know there were so many small businesses that just had to close down, and they probably will never come back.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Lifetime of savings gone.
Yes. Yes. That is such a shame. So you personally, did you lose any revenue during the shutdowns? Did anything slow down for you?
Well, prior to the COVID, my business model was serve one client at a time, serve one taxpayer at a time, individual, for-profit or non-profit organization, and really dig through the tax code. That's why it takes me 2 or 3 passes before I can stamp the tax return ready, for example. Right, so it sometimes takes me a week. So my business model before was, I don't want to see a line of people waiting outside. I want to really take care of that tax person and do the best that I can, find the latest changes to the tax code, federal or statewide, to get all the benefits due that taxpayer. So I would ask them to mail before even COVID, mail me or fax me or upload it to my secure site. All your tax documents, I review it, then I'll let you know when it's ready to pick up. So last year, I actually gained more clients.
Wow.
Because one enrolled agent whom I know he was diagnosed with a kidney disease.
Mm-hmm.
He had to undergo dialysis, and he's still in dialysis today. So that's very unfortunate because he was supposed to retire last year.
Oh.
And then this hit. So his wife called me and says, Lloyd, we trust you. My husband trusts you. So we'd like, can you help all these other clients that he has just to make them through the year? So I said, you know what? I'll honor that. I'll help your husband because I know him. He's a nice, caring person. And just so that this is just a transition phase, I told him,
Yeah.
whatever he was charging them the prior year, that's going to be the same price I'm going to charge them. So actually, I charge more than he because I do more work, but I honored his pricing just so we can transition them over so I can feel safe that his clients are taken care of. So that's what we did. If they come back to me, will I give them the same price? No, I cannot do that. There's a lot of, yeah, I did lose a lot of money, but I think I'm just thankful that I was thought about as being a person of integrity and somebody else in my profession trusted me with their clients.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's like, and do you, and it may be hard to estimate this going forward in the next year.
Mm.
You think are you going to continue, you're going to continue on this path because obviously it worked.
Yes, always
Yeah.
this work. And this is where we talked about this, that many practitioners in my profession, the tax profession, they love helping people. Their hearts are really in it,
Yeah.
but they cannot seem to go over that. How can I have the conscience of charging my clients more money? I think they just don't know what they are worth, right? They're worth more than they're charging for,
Right.
and they need someone to help them out. Uh, uh, for example, a lot of people that I meet in my office, they are hurting people.
Mhm.
They have a tax burden, they
Mhm.
have a tax problem, they have gone through divorce, they are undergoing divorce, they don't know the tax attributes, the tax problem they're having. So I can see the heaviness in their hearts. I can see the heaviness in their eyes, even though they're smiling.
Yeah.
But I get to listen. We set an appointment for 45 minutes, 1 hour. It rarely, I always get to 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, just to trying to understand that client. So that's the
Yeah.
other thing I differentiate my business with others is, although we say we're going to talk for 45 hours or 45 minutes or 1 hour, it rarely ends there.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, the gift I have from God is to listen and
Mhm.
to ask questions
Yeah.
and to understand the need. And the best gift that I get when our conversation is over, that smile in the face, even the eyes are smiling. And that to me says, this is a great day.
Yes.
Sometimes do they become clients? No, but I have helped someone gone through that day to
Mhm.
have a hope in the future.
Mhm.
But then they refer business to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that's one of the biggest things I love about you, Lloyd. It's like you just got a heart of gold, and you really take care of all kinds of people without any expectations in return,
Yeah.
except for that smile.
That's fine. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that smile. Yeah. So so what next question, what impact did COVID have on on your family? Did it have an impact, good or bad or indifferent, whatever you want to
Oh,
put in there?
my wife, she's a registered nurse.
Yes.
She works with the state of California
Hmm.
as a registered nurse.
Yeah.
So every type of warning, danger, everything. We got you, Lloyd, you gotta get vaccinated. And my son, he's 19 years old. He gets the same information from social media.
Yes.
You got that, you gotta get vaccinated. But then I tell them, the last time I had the flu shots was decades ago, because the last time I had the flu shot, I felt so sick. So it didn't make sense to me why I'm getting this medicine and I get sick, right?
Yeah.
I don't even take multivitamins. The only time I take any kind of medication when I have my annual sinus, and I take Tylenol. So I try to live as natural as possible. Food, water, sugar, cut down tremendously. Coffee black, and I think I have to cut down on coffee because I'm getting go. I get older now. So that's the conflict is my wife is so gung-ho because it's her profession and she makes decision basing on what's being passed down from the CDC.
Yes.
To
Yeah.
me, I have a different belief system. I believe the Lord is my healer,
Mhm.
and I go with that. So my common conversation with my wife is we got into this intimate conversation. It's the Lord tells me to go out into the world and spread his good news. So if he's gonna give me a disease to spread it, then God is a liar. That's what I tell my wife. And that ends the conversation. That's the conversation. But other than that, I try not to get into conversation with other person when I hear them, they're kind of skewed on one side or the other.
Yeah,
Right? Everyone has to make a choice what they believe is right for them.
exactly.
I just try not to push my what I believe into other people's lives. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
It's very true. It is very true. That's a funny story about your family though. It's like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, yeah. It's like,
yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
Did your virus cause you to lose employees?
Well, the way I do my business is I learned this from CEO Space International.
Yeah.
This is the largest networking organization in the world, has been running now for over 15 years, over 20 years, right? So this is made up of for-profit, non-profit, government
Yeah.
organizations
Yeah.
that's coming together and trying to figure out the ways how can we improve efficiencies,
Uh-huh.
how can we improve profitability, how can we improve whatever that is we're doing for the community, how can we improve our services or processes.
Yeah.
And CEO Space International found out all the study that they did for over 15 years, the collaborative type of business model outperforms the competitive style of business model
Yes.
which we have been exposed to even at schools. You
Yes.
got Excel. You got to do things your own way. You got, in terms of competition, you got to beat that competition.
Yeah.
That type of model, according to the research done, this is scientific research, right? Is that collaboration
Yes.
tends to get the business longer and more profitable. So what I do is I become the most valued advisor of people who come to me. And if there are things that I need specialists for, then I collaborate with that business,
Mhm.
right? So I am the point guy, I am the traffic guy, I am who I send them to other specialists in my industry. For example, in my tax profession, I have one contact who will only talk to you if you are in tax court. I have another one who will talk to you only if you have $100,000 or more in tax debt. So that is why I love meeting people, because I get to listen to who they are, what they do, and I can get to evaluate their personality. And if I sense, then I look at their background.
Mhm.
Are you serving your community?
Yeah.
Right? That is the first indication to me of a servant if that person is volunteering somewhere. So
Mhm.
that is a good connection with me, is those who have a heart of just, they want to help their community. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You're very, very much. That's wise. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's very wise. And okay. Awesome. Okay. Next question. Did you lose any of your suppliers or service providers?
No, we don't
No?
didn't lose any suppliers, did not lose any service providers, because I am in the service industry,
Yeah.
a service that no one can get away from.
Wait. Did you lose your toilet paper supplier?
Oh no, we have in the Philippines, right? Gotta learn this, right?
Oh, you use banana leaves.
Run out of banana leaves in the backyard. So we have this little, we call it tabo, Tabo. This is a little plastic container,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You scoop water.
Oh
Right.
my
But
goodness.
most of now, and the other thing, the nice thing about the uh, one that came out as for me for the business is, but this has been out there for years, the electronic documentation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So now I have the option to just release electronic copies of tax return.
Oh yeah.
So I don't need extra paper and ink purchase anymore.
Yeah.
So cost reduction. And this is your expertise there, Johnny, is
Exactly.
finding ways to reduce costs. And those are the things also I'm looking at. For example, I recently learned, right? This is cost reduction for business owners, right? Now remember before when you charge your customer, they pay you by credit card, you have to incur that merchant processing fees. Now there are services, the merchant processing fees are charged to the customer. How amazing is that, right?
Yeah.
Because some of these vendors out there, tens of thousands of dollars in merchant processing fees that could have gone to their pockets.
It's true.
Savings for retirement.
It's
right?
true. It's true. Hey, I want the name of that company. when
Okay,
we're
I'll connect you with her. She goes to my church. I'll
Yeah.
get her.
I want to connect with that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have lots of clients I can send her way.
Yeah. I'll connect with her.
Yeah. So alrighty. So one more question.
Yeah.
Are you taking any precautions from all your experiences and everything with COVID to prepare for a similar disaster in the future?
The precaution I am taking is not to be taken in by the world. Well, as compared to what God says. I am a believer. I try to follow Jesus Christ as much as I can. So I tend to gravitate towards God more than what science says.
Yeah.
Because from the presentation I heard last night, I saw there's an implementation of what I saw is something like a one world government that the Bible talks about, right? So I was really brokenhearted from looking at that presentation last night, because now our kids from 12-year-old and above might be mandated, right, to get these COVID shots.
Yes.
Now we are hearing from state governments, this is the responsibility now of the local school districts to decide if they were gonna vaccinate the children or not. But here's the caveat. The state can say, your funding comes from us, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you the right to decide, school district, whether to require vaccination of your children or not, but the money comes from us. From what I saw last night, heart disease is the #1 killer still in the United States.
Yes.
500,000 and above. You know what this COVID vaccine will do to our children's hearts? They will enlarge. They will have heart disease for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
That really broke my heart last night.
Yeah.
So since me, I'm trying to follow the Lord, and the Lord is my healer, I go to him. And I haven't been sick for decades now.
Yeah. Good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Wise information from a wise man. So now, Lloyd, I understand that you have a gift that you want to give to your listening audience, something that is priceless. So do you want to talk about that and where they can find you?
Yes, LloydBoucher.com, LLOYD, B as in boy, OUCHER.com. So that will direct to my about page. But on the right-hand side, upper right-hand side of that website, you will see appointment. Then there's a telephone number there you can call. I have an online calendar there, or you can visit my office, but you have to call, make an appointment first. So I can do an initial review of a tax return. If you have a problem, if you need someone to talk to and give you directions, what you will do next, I usually charge between $375 and $500, depending on the topic, if I have to dig the tax code. So I'll give that to you for free. Since this interview with Johnny, I give that to you for free. And if you'd like to register after our conversation, I'm going to start emailing out newsletters on tax savings for entrepreneurs, sole proprietor, S corporations, C corporations. There are many wonderful tax codes. So we gotta hate tax code because we have to pay a lot of taxes. But then the other side of the tax code are the tax deductions and credits. And if your tax accountant does not specialize in carving out the tax code to give you more credits and deductions, then he or she cannot really do anything for you, right? He can prepare your tax return for you,
Yeah.
But if it doesn't specialize, it takes a lot of time. And if that's not his or her business model, talk to me and we'll see what we can do for you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Lloyd. That was wonderful. Beautiful. I appreciate that.
Glad to be here.
So there you go, listening audience. That was Lloyd Boucher and his expertise and his and how he handled so far the pandemic with COVID. It's just beautiful. Thank you for your wonderful story. So again, I'm Johnnie Urban from Stop the Madness Business Solutions, where business owners hire me to increase their revenue without spending any more money on advertising and marketing. How cool is that? So, and you can find me at stmbusinessconsulting.com. So thank you so much, Lloyd. Thank you, audience. Bye.
Thank you, Johnnie.
Bye.
Stop wasting money. Talk to Johnnie.
Thank you. Yes.